Welcome back. Today we are making a Torii gate, as you can see by this picture that I've already imported. Torii gates are from the Shinto religion in Japan. This past summer I visited Japan as part of a study abroad program, and I got to see a bunch of Torii gates. Probably the most memorable ones were the ones in Kyoto. There's a mountain where there's just like thousands of Torii gates and you're just constantly walking through them. I forget the name of it now, but I'm sure it'll come to me at some point during the recording. Anyways, I think I'm going to start by just making this crossbeam right here, and then we can use that when we're mirroring everything, so then we'll use that. Okay, let's start by moving this up and sizing it down in the Z direction until it kind of matches up with the thickness. Move it down just a little bit. Okay. Can get better matching. Okay, that looks pretty good. And let's now move it, size it in the Y direction. And that looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay, sweet. So we have this crossbeam, and then we can call it crossbeam here. Crossbeam. Alright, and now we will start by making one of these legs. So I guess we can start. I think it makes sense to use a cylinder. So we're in object mode. Let's hit Shift A, go to Mesh, and choose a cylinder. Let's size it down. Actually, first let's change the number of vertices. We don't need it to be 32. We can keep this pretty low poly. So let's set it to 8. And let's size this down and move it over. Up so that the bottom aligns with the bottom of the black part. We'll size this up in the Y direction until it aligns with the edges. Let's size it up in the Z direction until it matches all the black parts. Something like that. Now, so we have the bottom lined up, but we need the top lined up. So we can go into edit mode, select these vertices, size them down a bit, move them over, Y direction. Let's zoom in so we can get a better idea of where we are. I realized that I'm not in wireframe mode, so I have not selected all of the top vertices. So let's do that first. Now we can move down to line it up with the black and move it over so it's roughly centered, and then size it down in that direction. Something like this. Move it over, and that looks pretty good. Okay, now we want to inset the top face, so let's come up here. We already have that face selected. Sweet. Let's inset until we have roughly the size that we want, and then we can move that over in the Y direction. Size it down just a little more. Okay, that looks good. Now we want to extrude it up to here. So first we'll just extrude it in the Z direction, and then we can make adjustments. So let's hit extrude. It's already in the Z direction. We'll come up to that line. We will move it. Let's make sure it's on that line, pretty close. We can move it over. Something like this. Size it down. And I think because the sizing down is roughly linear, once we get it matched up at the bottom and at the top, it should kind of just match everywhere. And it does, as you can see. Oh, I think it does. Am I following the right lines? Yeah, this line comes down. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Nice. Okay. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, okay. I think this is good then for the column, so we'll call this column. And let's mirror it. We can select our mirror object to be the crossbeam, and we want to mirror it over the y-axis. And now we have our 2 columns. Sweet. Now maybe we want to create these wedges. So in Japan they use kind of wood joinery a lot, just because of the natural resources that were there when Japan was progressing into the industrial age. And it's super cool. They have a bunch of like cool wood joinery techniques. I won't get too much into it, but this is one of the methods they use. It's kind of like to make sure there's constant pressure applied to all of the components when they're going together. So I think we want to make kind of like a triangular prism. So we will Shift A. What would make for a good triangular prism? I guess we can start with a cube. Why is it? Oh, it's because we're in wireframe mode. So let's move this up. Let's delete. Oh, we're also going to want to size this down, but we can do that later. Okay, now we want to go into edit mode, and let's delete these 2 vertices. So we can select those 2, hit X, delete those vertices, and then we want to join this face to this face. So we can hit F to do that. And then I think these are still open, so we can select this and this, hit F, and likewise do the same thing over here. Okay, now we have a triangular prism. So let's go back to our Y so we can see the triangles here. So let's take this one and move it down. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I wasn't in wireframe mode. I make this mistake all the time where I don't have everything selected. So let's make sure we have everything selected. Move it down here, size it way down. Move it in the Y direction, and then in the Z direction. All we're trying to do is just kind of line up these vertices. So we can do this. And in reality, these vertices are not going to be, like this vertex is probably going to go further out, maybe to here. So I'll make that adjustment in a sec, but let's first go into edit mode, select vertices, select these 2 vertices, and we'll just move it. I think because we're viewing in the X direction, whenever we move something, if we just hit G, we're not going to be moving it in the X direction. So we're just moving it along Z and Y. So we can do this freehand and not worry about it too much. Okay, and then likewise we'll take this, and we just want to move it so that this slope here matches up. So first, actually, let's take both of these, move them down just a little bit so that they line up, and now we can take these and move it over so that the slope lines up. So we're just doing this, and there we go. And then what we can do is we can take this entire shape, so we're still in wireframe mode, we select everything, we'll hit Shift D to duplicate, and move this over in the Y direction, can line up this vertice, so it's kind of backwards, and then we'll just select each of these vertices individually. Each of them is a set of 2 vertices. So there's the one in front, which we're seeing, and then the one in back, if you rotate it, you can kind of see like that. So we set those 2 up, and then all we have to do is take this and do the same thing we did previously, just move it along the y-axis until this slope matches the slope of this. So let's zoom in a bit so we have a better view of it, and then let's hit G and Y and move it over, and we can hit Shift so that we our adjustments are smaller, and like that, we now have our wedges. Okay, sweet. So we can call this wedges. And we want to also add a mirror modifier to this. And like with the column, we're going to check our mirror object, or select our mirror object to be this crossbeam. Let's just do it like this so we don't have to worry about selecting the empty. The empty that keeps popping up is the picture. So let's select the crossbeam, and we want to mirror in the Y direction. And you can see right now that these pop in. You can see they're slightly off, so let's just fix that up real quick so we can select. Oh, I guess we'd have to accept the changes first, which we can do. So we'll go down, oops, to here. Make sure we're in object mode when we do this. Tab, apply. And now that it's applied, actually, wait. there's a better way of doing this, I think. It's one of these, right? There's some way of within the mirror modifier. I saw a like YouTube short about this where you can edit each of them independently, but maybe since I don't know exactly what I'm doing with that, let's just apply it because I do know that this will work. Let's go back into edit mode and move these over. We can probably move this entire thing over because we want to maintain the same angle. And if we just move these two over, then the angle that this line will create will not be parallel to this line. The slope of this line will not be the same as the slope of this line, so they won't be parallel anymore. Okay, like that. And then let's do the same thing with these. That. And I think the same thing happened with these columns. So let's take the column object. Why does the column, oh, we're not in object mode. I was going to say, why does the column object not have the mirror modifier? But it does. Let's apply this modifier and go back into edit mode. You can select these and move it over. Like that. And then go down to the bottom. Are these aligned? Nope, they're slightly off. So let's make sure we can fix that as well. That looks pretty good. And then one last time on the bottom. This picture slightly tilted. Or did I just not go all the way down with these? I just didn't go all the way down with them. Oh. Okay, that's fine. Let's do that. Let's maybe move this one over just a little bit. Do the same here. Move all these down. Move this one over just a little bit. Sweet. Okay. So now we have the cross beams, we have the wedges. Let's make, I guess, this cube in the middle. It should be pretty simple. Go to object mode, Shift A, create a mesh, create a cube. And we just want to match up the dimensions. So we'll move it up here, size it down in the Y direction until it matches, until it roughly matches. I guess this isn't a perfectly symmetrical picture is what I'm learning. That's okay. As long as it's mostly good, you don't have to worry about it. And then go like this and size it in the Z direction. Still very long. SC. Something like this. Okay. And let's get this mostly centered. That looks pretty good. Maybe just move it over to the left slightly. Like that. Okay. So we have that. I think what we can do with these two objects is size them down now. So let's look from this part. We'll select this object in object mode. Select this, and let's look from the side and size it down in the, I believe it's the X direction. Yep, like that until it lines up. You can do the same with this. Alright, now let's make these. I'm trying to remember if they were cylindrical or square when I visited. I think it was cylindrical, so let's make them a cylinder. We can do that by, I guess we should have did this before mirroring, but we can do it independently. It's not a huge deal. Let's go into object mode, select our pillars, select our faces. So we'll go into click 3 to have face select mode, select these two faces, then we'll go back to the side, and we can, I guess, does inset work to move outwards? No, I don't think so. No, it doesn't. Can we extrude, but instead of extruding, just keep it like there, so keep it on the same level and then size it up? Yes, but we don't, each of them independently appears to be sizing from the center point instead of from each of their own center points. Okay, so let's undo that then. So let's just do one at a time. We can do this. So we want to E to extrude, right click, so we're not actually extruding. I mean, we've created a new face, but we haven't extruded it. Then we can hit S to size it up. Something like that. Let's shift all of that over. It makes it really hard to see like this. With this line in the way. I wish there was a way of making the line thicker. Because like I really have no way of seeing how long it is. I'm kind of just eyeballing it at this point. Okay, I think this is mostly good. Yeah, I mean, it's good enough, right? So E, Z, Z's already hit, so we'll just go up to here. And the Torii gate is slightly rounded, so we'll want to adjust some of these vertices to move them up to match the curve. So we can match it there, and match it there, and match it there. And then we'll just go and repeat this process over at the other side. So face select mode, take this, hit E, right click so that we create a new face but don't extrude it. Then we're going to size it up in the Y direction, and we'll have to play around with this again just to try and get the right size. That looks decent. Maybe slightly too big. Yeah, slightly too big. Just ever so slightly. That should be good. Let's move it over just ever so slightly. Okay, perfect. Now we can move it up, line it up on the right side. Then while we're in edit mode, we hit 1 to go to select vertices. So move this vertice up, then move this vertice up, and this one as well. Okay, so now we've created these two column structures. Now we want to create the top of the Torii gate. So I think the best way of doing this is to just create a rectangle first, or like a cubic shape rectangular prism, and then we'll add some edge loops and curve it. So let's go back into object mode, add a mesh, add a cube, move this cube up, size it down in the Z direction. The thickness I think should be pretty constant the entire way, so let's do that. And I think before I had mentioned that I visited this mountain with all of the Torii gates, I think it just came to me that it's called Fushimi Inari. I could be wrong, but it was very beautiful. And at the top there's like a bunch of shrines, or not even just at the top, along the hike too, there's a bunch of shrines that have like small Torii gates that people put as like, I guess, ways of praying. I'm not totally sure of all the customs, so I don't want to misrepresent it, but I did find it very cool. Okay, so we can take this, and then we just want to extrude it all the way until we reach the left and rightmost points of the red. So size the Y direction. Again, I think this is not perfectly symmetrical, so that's all right. I mean, we don't have to worry about it. Okay, let's do that. Now we want to select an edge and create edge loops. So it only really starts curving around here. So I think that's where our first edge loop is going to be. So what we can do to make that is select first just an edge. We'll hit tab to go into edit mode, 2 to select edges, select the top edge, control R to make a loop, left click, and then just right click so that it's in this position. Then we'll hit control B to bevel that edge loop and move it until that position that it first starts curving up, which I think is, we'll just say it's around here. Probably is slightly before that, but it's not a huge deal. And then within each of these sections we can create more edge loops, but now because we beveled previously, we're not creating edge loops in the geometry that isn't curving, which I think just kind of saves complexity. So right now I've created, I think that's 8 edge loops. That looks pretty good. Let's do the same thing over here. Control R, hit 8, just hit enter, right click, and now let's adjust these heights. So, yeah, as you can see, it's not perfectly aligned. I guess we can lower down some of these. So let's go into vertice select mode, select this vertice and this vertice, and move them down until they're kind of in line with that segment here that we previously created. And because I'm now noticing that there is kind of just a slight dip, it is slightly curved down here, what we can do is can make one more edge loop right in the middle. And we can take the vertice that represents that edge loop and just move it down so that it's in line with the curve. And that should basically help out with what we were dealing with. Let's do this as well. Move it up. Okay, now we can go one by one and fix all of these up. There might be a quicker way that I'm just not aware of to do this. In fact, I'm pretty confident there is a quicker way, but I just don't know it yet. As I learn more and more Blender, hopefully that will become something I can learn, something I can do. Here we go. So all we're doing is just matching up each of these vertices with the line, oh, I keep doing that by accident, with the line where the gray and red textures meet. And for this last one, we're going to have to move it in the Y direction as well, but that's okay. So let's move it up first, and then I guess we can actually just position it like this because we're looking at it from the Y direction, so we don't have to worry about it getting displaced in the Y direction. Okay, select this, and then we can go back to this and just do what we were doing before. It was kind of fun in Japan just seeing all the places where the different Shinto gates are, or not Shinto, Torii gates. There was one on the top of Mount Fuji, which I thought was very impressive. Like, how do they get it up there? But I guess people climb Mount Fuji enough that they can carry all the resources up there to construct it. There was like some massive ones. There was one in Toyama that was huge. They're just all over the place. I think of the world's religions, Shintoism has some pretty cool architecture, like the shrines and Torii gates look pretty cool to me. Just not to say other world religions don't have cool architecture. I think mosques, like the domes on mosques, look pretty cool. Churches, I mean, are you kidding? Like the Sagrada Familia, I mean, they have like extremely impressive architecture. And there's a cool synagogue I toured in New York. I took like a Jewish history class, and there was a very cool synagogue. I forget what it was called, but it had all this like stained glass that made it look very cool when it was illuminated during the daytime. So I'm pretty sure most religions have cool architecture, but I just thought it was fun to point out because Shintoism, I liked how much in nature it was. It's kind of built in or like woven into the natural, geography of the land. Let's put this here. All right. Almost done. All right, I think we got that pretty nice. Now if we look from the side, obviously it's too big right now, but that's easy to fix. All we have to do is come here, select the entire thing, select the entire thing. There we go, and just size it down. S, X. Maybe let's size it like that. Sweet. Okay, and then we just need to do this one more time to create the black one. I think what we can do actually is to duplicate this shape and then just size it up and put it on top. So let's duplicate all of that, move it up, size it up. I guess it's not perfectly aligned, so we'll have to adjust that, but that's fine. Shouldn't be too difficult. I think also if we snap one, okay, we'll make these, but then when we snap, I think we can snap this vertice to be the same as that vertice, which will save some time. But let's do these first, and then we'll worry about that later. I guess because this is more curved, we might need more edge loops to kind of match the general curve. Or maybe it's okay. Let's add an edge loop. We can add one here, and then we'll need to add one at the other side as well. But for now, let's just do this. Maybe we can move this down just a little bit. Let's come over here and add one more edge loop in between these two. Okay, come over here. We need to select vertices, and we'll line up all of these vertices. It is nice having a reference image. Makes it so you know that your proportions are going to be pretty close. The only downside is that, doing this takes a little more time than just kind of freeballing it and trying to get the general shape. But I suppose the juice is worth the squeeze in this equation, in this case. Okay, let's now move all of these. Move that maybe a little bit down. Okay, so we'll do all the top ones, and then I can see if these bottom ones will line up. I guess they're not equally spaced, so that might make it difficult, but we can add edge loops if we need to. Well, let's see if it works first. Okay, if we snap, we want to snap to vertex. So if we do this, yes, look at that. Okay, sweet. Why is it not working now? It worked for the first one. Come on, man. Maybe turn face nearest on? No, we do definitely want vertex. At least I think we do. That's unfortunate. I thought this would work, and it looked like it was working, but wait, hold on. Why does it work there but not here? That is weird. Does that mean that this one would work if I did it over here? Oh, wait, it does work there. What? Let's... Okay. Maybe I just have to be close, but not too close? Huh. That is interesting. I don't know why it's doing that, but I'm not going to question it. Let's just... As long as it works, it works. Okay. That, and then we're going to want 2 more edge loops, I think. Let's see what it looks like once we fix all this up. Oh, wait, it already did that on this side too? What? Huh? Or did I rotate? Oh, I rotated. I was gonna say, how did it know to do that mirrored? Obviously it didn't. I'm just I'm being a little silly. Okay. All right. Let's get this attached then, and we'll do the same all the way down. Come on. I don't know where I need to get that magic snapping. It's like it seems very precise for whatever. Oh, maybe it's just where the mouse is. Oh my god, it is where the mouse is. I was trying to line up the actual vertices themselves, but it turns out I can just go like this. Oh my god. Okay. Good to know. That's very helpful. Sweet. Okay, so we've lined up all of those for... What? Did I add an extra vertex on one side but not the other? Why is there only one edge loop that I need to create here, but... Okay, well, regardless, I think that's fine. At the end of the day, this isn't about making it perfectly symmetrical. It's more about just getting it to look good. So, okay, make this edge loop. Let's move it over here. Let's go back into edit mode, select our select our vertices, get that. Okay, we'll come over here. We need to create 2 edge loops here. So hit 2 to select edges, Control R. Let's zoom out so we can see the edge loops when they're created. Control R, create these 2 edge loops, move them over here. Go into, we're already in edit mode. I just need to select vertices, select that vertice, get it snapped to there, select that vertice, get it snapped to there. Okay, now all we need to do is just adjust the height of these vertices. So there's no rhyme or reason to exactly why I'm moving them in the Y direction to those specific points, like along this way, but I just kind of want it to look kind of evenly spaced here. Maybe, I don't know. There's probably some way that you're supposed to do that makes for better topology, but I don't know those rules, so just work by whatever seems good. I think everything should still be a quad regardless of where these vertices are, so I don't think it's the end of the world no matter where we put them. It should be okay. Alright, and we are almost done. I don't know what that red thing at the top is. I don't remember seeing that in the actual Torii gates. I don't know if that's just an artifact from the picture, if that is something that's actually on Torii gates. It's just hard to see because of where it's placed. But I don't think I'm going to create it, just because I think we're probably over time already. So I'm just going to finish this up, and then we'll add some colors and add maybe some staging and change the camera and lighting, and then we'll be done. Okay, we have all of that. Nice. So now if we go into our object mode, we have our general shape of the Torii gates. But some of these are coming out. What? Why is that happening? Okay, well, we still have our snap on, so I think they should be relatively quickly, or be relatively quick. I think we just have to do this and then move them in. I'm not sure exactly why that happened, but that's okay. It's so hard to zoom out. Okay, let's get back to here. This one is also weird, and that one might be a little harder to fix. Or maybe not. We just need to keep it in line with the rest. Edit. Is that fixing it like I think it is? Or is it moving it too far in? I think it is fixing it, but this is now misaligned. What am I doing? Okay, let's fix this up real quick and then we'll worry about that. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. This doesn't make sense though. Is it this that's out of line? This one? I think it might be. Okay, if we go like that, does that look better? I think so. There is some weird stuff going on here, though. Oh man, did I move it to the wrong spot when I merged those? Let's undo. Yeah, I did merge them to the wrong spot. Okay, here we go. Move them back. Okay, that should be good. Now let's look from the top, zoom out, and fix this topology. Like what? I mean, I'm kind of confused where these are even supposed to be. It's just supposed to be a straight line, but the vertices must have gotten mispositioned. I think maybe I thought that when you're looking from the x direction, it can't position them differently along the x-axis. It seems it can. It seems I was very wrong in making that assumption. So, oops. Let's fix that up real quick. So we have this now, and now we kind of want to shift this entire thing over. So let's go to this wireframe mode. Let's select, oops, not CB. What am I doing here? Why is it in circle mode? I don't want that. Why is it? Okay, set my radius to 1. All right, I don't want a radius actually. I just want, why is there a radius? See? What did I do to... Okay. Oh, no, now I'm undoing what I just did. I don't understand what's happening here. I'm messing something up. I want to be in box select mode. What is happening, man? Oh my goodness. Get my radius to 0. I don't want there to be any radius. Okay, maybe that is right. But now the box isn't forming when I go like this. Okay, something is very wrong. But I think because we're close to done, I'm just going to try and power through, and then I'll just restart Blender, and hopefully that will fix it. It's probably not the best way of doing this, but what can you do? Okay, let's select this and move it over the X direction. That. Okay, does that now fix it? Have we fixed all the imperfections? I think so. Obviously, this may have been what caused it, all these wonky angles that I put everything at. But I think now we are... Oh, no, never mind. Never mind. We still have a couple more edits to make. All right. Yeah, I'm very confused about what's happening with this box. Did I click something here that's wrong? Like, why is... Cursor? Oh, wait, no, not cursor. What am I doing? Okay, let's just fix this up. Okay, and then that looks a little big, a little wonky. Let's look from the top. Is it just wider at the top than it is at the bottom? Is that what I'm seeing here? Okay. I do think it's like jutting out here. And I'm not quite sure why that's happening. Like this right here. So maybe let's try and make it a slightly smoother. Yeah, let's select this and this. Hello? Oh my god, whatever I did with this is like really messing with my ability to select stuff. I mean, let's just go like that, I guess. And shift. Look from the top. GZ, or no, GX. Maybe not. Okay, maybe we'll just leave it like this. I think it's not a huge deal. You can't really see it, and I don't think it's that unrealistic that it goes out. Okay, let's add some color and get out of here. I'm spending way too much time on this. Okay. Okay, back to object mode. We can call this the top. Oh, caps lock's on. Top. Okay, let's start with our base columns. Can make it color. First color is going to be for the base. Base is kind of black. It's a dark, like grayish color. Gonna add some roughness. Make like 0.8 or so. And we want then another color, and this is the red for the Torii gate. So I think, what is the red? Approximately. I think that's good. Maybe roughness a bit higher. Okay, and in edit mode, select wireframe. Oh, now we can actually see the color. Is there a way we can sample? Yeah, let's just sample the red. There's kind of like some shading going on here, but let's select maybe the middle red that's there. Perfect, we have it now, and we want to select all of the everything that we want. For whatever reason, okay, and we can make a box, but like only once. I don't understand. We want faces, so hit 3, box. There we go. Assign. Nice. Okay, let's go to the crossbeam. Crossbeam. We need to be in object mode. Crossbeam. Edit mode. Assign this material to be material 2. Go back to object mode. Do the same thing for our wedges. Create a new material. Or we don't even need to. We can just go like that. Select the same for here. And then for this, we can start it with that. Go into edit mode, box. Let's select all of these faces and assign those to the new material, which is the black. Okay, and now if we just kind of move it around, oh, I guess we weren't in wireframe mode. So let's hit B again. Do another, oh, again, not in wireframe mode. I get this all the time. Okay, box select, select all of the sides, assign, and here we are. Now we have our red top, or our black top, our black bottom, and the red Torii gate. Sweet. Looks good. Let's adjust our camera so that we get a good view of it. That looks good. I think it would look striking on like a grass field or something, so let's set up a grass field. So in object mode, let's create a plane. Oh my god, I forgot that I changed the cursor. Can I just change it back to here? Oh, why is it not let me just move it here? Control. Okay. Oh, yeah, there we go. Just type in 0 for all of these. I think, okay, maybe that didn't work how I thought it would. That's fine. Let's create this plane. Look from the side, move it down. Move it over. Okay. Move it to the center. Or I guess it can be a little back here because the camera is facing that way. Size it up. Create a new material. Set it to a green. Something like that. Nice. And let's go to our light. Where's our light? There's our light. Move it along the x-axis. Change the type of light to an area. the light go here. Maybe let's move it around, something like this. Can do this to see what it will look like. Up the brightness to maybe 3000 or so. Can we make it a bit more diffuse if we do this? What's changing the exposure do? Okay, we don't want high exposure. Keep the exposure at 0. Let's maybe move it down and angle this more up. Oh, we still have snapping on. I was wondering why I was doing that. Let's do something like this. Okay, nice. Our plane should be maybe slightly bigger. Or let's go back into object mode, select this, move it on the y-axis this way, on the x. What did I just do? Oh, I deleted it. Let's go like that. Select a side in edit mode. Extrude that in the y direction. And then extrude this and this in the x direction. Okay, maybe we just adjust the camera. I'm doing all this work just to keep the camera in place, but it might be easier if we just go like this. Shift tilde, kind of move it around so that the grass is just in the frame. Sweet, there we go. Let's hit F12 to render. Oh, and then one thing I always forget to do, I do it usually after the video ends, but before I upload it to Sketchfab, is I select all of these objects and shade smooth. There we go. Maybe we don't want it shade smooth, actually. I mean, I think most of this stuff, maybe we'll just shade the column smooth. I think that might be nice. Yeah, the rest of this stuff can be pretty sharp because it's sharp in real life. All right, there we go. Here's our Torii gate. With that, thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.